All right, here we go. This one's gonna be a 357 SIG test. Today we're gonna be testing out some Grizzly ammo. So for that one, it is the 90 grain Montana Gold bullet. That's what that thing looks like. It is very similar to your Hornady XTP. That one does have your standard brass case and is rated at 1900 feet per second. It does say that is rated out of a 5-inch barrel. So today we are going to be testing it out of our old school Sig P229. That one does have that 3.9-inch barrel. So probably not going to reach that today, but we'll see how close we get. So we are going to be going through our gel. It is a 10% block. Do over a catch block behind that, so a total of 22 inches of gel. Our 4 layers of cotton t-shirt on the front. And like always, we'll set up our chronograph so we can hopefully pick up those impact velocities. So let's set up and see how this round does. All right, we're setting back to 15 feet. All right, let's see what we did on that one. So it looks like our impact velocity on that one was 1836. So that is awesome to see, especially out of that little bit shorter barrel. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually set up for a second shot, and then we'll get our results. All right, we're setting back to 15 feet. All right, let's see what we did on that one. So our impact velocity on that one was 1839. So that is very, very consistent. Last one was 1836, I believe. So that is really awesome to see. Like I said, out of that short barrel, I believe I've tested it last year out of the Glock 31, and we didn't come near those numbers. So that is very awesome to see. And hopefully some of y'all stop talking mess about my chronograph now, and you see how consistent it actually is. I am gonna get a short Garmin ones just so we can have some backup, but hopefully you guys can see that was pretty on par. All right, so let's check those tracks out. So hopefully I don't confuse too many people the way that I'm going to show these. So this one is the first shot. Of course, it was on this side. I did have the block completely flipped over. So right here is the first shot. So let's check that out first, and then we'll check out that other one. So really nice entry hole. Actually did a ton of damage on the surface, and then you can see a huge star pattern. So let's check it out from the side. I'm sorry, from the top. Oh yeah, check that out. That thing came in pretty much like a little frag grenade. Came in, exploded, did not get hardly any penetration. You can see that round right there, but man, the amount of damage it created was pretty darn impressive. So let's check here from the widest side, from the top. We are right at a little over 3.5 inches, and that is all the way here where some of those petals are shooting out. So it's actually very, very impressive. So let's check it out real quick from the side. So I did flip it back over. So hopefully you guys are following along. So you can see as soon as that thing came in, absolutely exploded. Just tore that round apart. And then you can see, it barely made it halfway through that block. And usually when I test it, that's basically what it's doing. So very shallow penetration, but damage is plentiful. So let's see at our widest spot from the side. Right exactly the same at that 3.5 inch mark, and we did not make it very far. Total penetration on that at its leading edge is 6.5 inches. So of course not very impressive for the penetration, but amount of damage, yes, I would not want to be standing in front of that thing. So let's check out that second track real quick. All right, and here is that second track. Same thing, I had to flip this one completely over. So I shot him on opposite sides. Reason being, there was so much damage coming in this side from that first shot that I didn't want to put it next to it and have those tracks combined. So I flip-flopped it a bunch. So here is that second shot. You can see the thing went in and just, man, huge amount of damage. And the way the texturing on that the front of that's pretty impressive. You know, normally when I shoot 357 Sig, we're definitely not getting that. It's kind of like a bruising effect. It's real crazy. But anyways, got a huge star pattern so far. So let's check this one out from the top. Oh yeah, same thing. Came in, absolutely exploded in there. Fragmentation all over the place. And then you can see that round basically just flatten itself out. But yeah, they were moving out. So let's see our measurement on this one. This one actually looks like it got a little bit more damage. Just over 3 3/4 inches. So just a little bit more than that first shot, but very impressive. So we're going to show these one more time from the first shot, which is coming this way. I'm going to flip the block this way so we can check that track out first, and then we'll check out that second one more time. Okay guys, sorry about that. Like I said, it's probably going to get a little bit confusing, but here's that first shot. Came in, absolutely exploded in there. Just, man, a ton of damage going through. You can see that round. And that one did make it 6.5 inches. I actually forgot to measure this second one. So we're going to come down here on the side instead of flip-flopping it 100 times. So this one is that second shot, and of course now it's going towards us. So let's see what kind of measurement we have from the side on this one. Pretty much exactly the same, 3 3/4. And check that out. The amount of damage is pretty darn crazy. And at our leading edge, let's see. So right there, we are at exactly the same, 6.5 inches. So very consistent there. So like I said, we're going to check these out. So we did check the first one out. Now we're going to go to the second one that we just looked from the side. So that one is, of course, coming towards us in that huge path. Crazy stuff right there. And like I always do at the end, we'll, you know, cut this stuff open and get a little bit more accurate measurement. But let's try to pull this round and see what it looks like. All right, check these things out. Looks like they both got some pretty darn awesome expansion. Of course, they made it past their breaking point, but nonetheless, they did open up very wide. So the one on the right is that first shot, one on the left is that second shot. They're literally identical. Same with the tracks. You know, there were 3 feet per second difference in velocity, so we're not going to really see too much of a difference. But there is that first shot. Hopefully you guys can see that. Very wide, mushrooming. Like I said, made it to its breaking point, ripped off every pedal, and absolutely flattened that out. That thing is super thin now. So weight retention isn't all, you know, very great with these rounds, but for that shallow amount of penetration, you know, it really does some damage. And here's that second round. Same thing with that one. Opened up really nicely. You can see all that gel still kind of stuffed in there. Same thing. It is very sharp actually too, you know, what's left of it. But pretty darn impressive. You can see that thing just came apart in that gel. So check these things one time from the bottom here. So first shot, second shot, and last time from the top. So like I said, we'll rinse these, get our still shots, slow-mo, all that good stuff here at the end. But there we go, guys. That one was the 90 grain Grizzly 357 Sig out of the old school Sig P229. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, so here's that cross section for that first shot. You can see those pretty devastating splits and cuts. Huge amount of damage. You can see a little bit of fragmentation down in there. But, you know, I've said it once, I'll say it again. This literally looks like a very high velocity rifle round that came in and just absolutely exploded. Same thing on this side. Hopefully you can see that track a little bit. But ton more fragmentation, a lot more splitting, and just super impressive for sure. So I did remeasure those, and they are peaking right at 3 3/4, and they're actually averaging right in 3 3/4. So, you know, I think was definitely moving out, and that was almost 700 foot-pounds from that 3.9-inch barrel. So that was very impressive. So let's cut this track. All right, so there's after being cut. So this bottom is the right side, this top is the left. So you can see pretty much as soon as that thing came in, probably that 1/8 inch mark. Came in, absolutely exploded in there. You can see the amount of damage, all the fragmentation, pretty much the whole round came apart. And this is the whole path. I believe it was about 6.5 inches, so we're showing the whole track. But yeah, that is Very impressive, the amount of damage. Of course, the penetration wasn't, as much as, we'd like, but of course, that's kind of like what we're expecting because it is moving so fast and is a very light round, so really can't hold together too well. So here's that top, same thing, came in, opened up really, really wide. And once again, just some nasty damage. You can see this stuff. Looks like it came and kind of flipped it in backwards. Ton more fragmentation, but just some massive, massive splits. We'll do one more quick angle just so you guys can see the full track going through, maybe. But yeah, check that out. Just crazy amount of damage. Very, very impressive. But there we go. That one was that first shot for that 90 grain Grizzly. And I forgot to show this is all the fragmentation that I was actually able to pull out so far. Like always, we'll pull it all out here at the end for steals and all that good stuff. All right, so there's that cross section for that second shot. You can see pretty much same exact thing came in, exploded in there. Massive, massive splits and cuts. You can see a little bit of fragmentation. Same on this side. Just spider webbing all over the place. Tons of fragmentations also. So I did remeasure these, and they're actually peaking a little bit more right at that 4-inch mark and averaging right at that 3 3/4. So definitely pretty impressive. So let's cut this open. All right, so here's after being cut. So this bottom is the right side, this top is the left. So you can see pretty much as soon as that thing came in, right, that 1/4-inch mark, just absolutely exploded in there. Just huge, huge cuts and splits. You can see just a ton of fragmentation. Just very, very impressive. This one was only going 3 feet per second faster than that last one. So, these tracks are very similar. And almost 700 foot-pounds is very impressive for 357 Sig. And here's that top, same thing, came in. You can see that huge track going all the way through. And same thing over here, man. Just came in and just blew this stuff up. Pretty much like the last one, this stuff is barely hanging on by a thread. Looks like it did drag in a little bit of that cotton t-shirt on this side, but just fragments all over the place. And you can see kind of like where it ended. I did do the whole track, so this is the full 6.5 inches of path, but very impressive stuff. So I'll do one more quick angle just so you guys can see how nasty this really is. But would not want to be anywhere near the front end of that round. But there we go, guys. That one was that 90 grain Grizzly ammo out of that 3.9-inch Sig P229. Thanks again for watching.